Hello guys, welcome back to the another episode of Unreal Engine C++ course where you make supermarket simulator series. In the previous lecture, we have created the computer as well and also created the market item and also market item inside the market application, and we have added these buttons. In this lecture we are going to bind these buttons to update the item quantity, and also we are going to create a cart item, and on click of this add to cart we are going to add we'll try to finish add to cart in this lecture if it's not too long. Okay, let's get started. Let's open the Visual Studio. Let's head to user widget, market item widget. Okay, and we haven't binded these buttons. Let us open the widget ones. Blueprints, user widget, market item, and BP market item template. We need to bind the increment button, decrement button, and add to cart button, as well as the item quantity text and cart item text. We need to bind them in the C++ so we can access them. Let's copy this down. The U property will be same, and for the data type, first we'll take the both text, which will be U text block. Let's copy from above, and the name should be exactly same as the name given in the editor. Let's copy that, paste. Let's duplicate this. We need 1 2 3 4 more times. Okay, now for another text block, it should be cart total price. Let's give that to this, not the above one. And next we need the button. The button is very simple. It is U button, and let's add forward declare here, class U button, and then let's give the name cart decrement button. Let's copy the U button data type to the text box, and the name will be cart increment button. And at last we have add to cart button. We haven't named this. Let's name it as item add to cart. Let's add btn underscore in the beginning so it is clear that it is a button. Let's copy the name and let's put it here, and also copy the data type as well. Now let's try compiling, and if you just press compile inside the item template blueprint, if there is no error, that means the naming and the widget binding is successful. Okay, now let's also create the functions and bind those functions. For that we would need a native construct, virtual void native construct with parentheses and override as well, because we are overriding the function, not overloading. Okay, now it's always good to check whether these buttons are valid. If cart decrement button is valid and also cart increment button is valid. Now we would like to bind this button to a function. Let's create the function body as well, function definition and the body. I'll create that inside private void on item quantity decrement. You can name it however you want. I'm going to call them these. I'll copy it again and I'll call it increment, and I'll create a definition for this. Okay, let's bind the button to this function, cart decrement button dot which is arrow operator on clicked dot add dynamic. We need two parameters, which is the user class, which will be user object will be this, and function name, and percent this class. So the scope resolution, which is double colons, and the function will be on item decrement. And we see something here. Yeah, we need to mark these functions as u function. Whenever we are adding a dynamic binding, which is here, when we are using this macro, the function which we are binding need to be marked as u function. Let's copy the same here. Let's change that to cart increment on clicked dot add dynamic this, and percent this class on item increment. There is a little change here. We'll add a y, and there is a typo. Let's replace it here as well. All right, so let's compile. Okay, that is a successful compile. Now what do we want? On click of this button, we want to minus 1 unit of this quantity, which should be clamped between 0 and 10. For this tutorial, and also the original supermarket simulator has this item to be clamped to 10. We are going to do the same. First, in this function, what do we want? We want to decrement the cart quantity. We have already bound that. So what are we going to do? Yeah, cart quantity. Let's create a new int 32, which is local variable. Quantity equal to, we want to get the text, the current text from the cart quantity, get text, and this is going to return a f text. Okay, we want to convert that f text into the int 32. We can use fc string a to I, which is going to convert this f text from the string to integer, and the string will be, okay, I have pressed something, maybe it's building, ignore that. String, this should work. All right, yeah, we need to add the asterisk beginning of the statement, so that it is using the C style characters. The C++ takes C style character in most of the places. Now this is converted to quantity. If quantity, okay, instead of doing if, we can directly clamp and also decrement. We are going to do quantity equals to fmath. There should be a function called clamp. Now if you see the parameters, there is float, double, int 64. For now we are using int type. Clamps x to be between minimum and maximum, inclusive overload to support mixed into 64 into 32 types. We do not need to overload anything. We want to clamp the quantity between minimum and maximum, which will be, first let's give the value. The value will be the quantity, comma, minimum is 0, maximum is 10. Now this should clamp the value between 0 and 10. We want to clamp after adding it. Let's say the current amount is 10. Even though if we press increment again, we do not want to increase, and if it is 0 and we are clicking on decrement, it shouldn't go below 0. So before doing this, let's do quantity uh, minus equals to 1. Okay, now we also want to set the text of a cart quantity to this quantity. Let's do that. Cart quantity dot set text. We want to convert the int to f text again. For that we can use f text scope resolution as number quantity. This should be working. Let's just test. Compiled. Let's head here. Let's head into the game. Also, let's just add functionality for increment as well. We are going to copy all of this, and instead of minus, let's give plus, and we want to clamp the same, set the text, everything is just like how we want it. Okay, that is increasing. Current value 7, 8, 9, 10. There you go, it is clamped. Even though I'm clicking on plus, nothing is happening. And if I minus 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. There you go. It is working. Alright. Now we have clamped them, and the value is also changing, updating as we press the button. Next we would like to, let's do this. So the cart total price is the unit price into the quantity. Let's say a player is buying 5 water bottles. I suppose we have a sample item of water bottle. Yeah, water bottle. So the unit price is 2. If the player is giving a quantity of 5, the total should be 2, which is the unit price multiplied by the quantity, the 5 into 10, which will be 10. So the $10 should be visible in the cart total price. Okay, so it is very simple, but also we need to convert the data from text to int to f text. We may even write a code. I think we have that here. Yeah, get formatted price. We have that here. We are simply going to use this function to convert. Now this should be updated every time when each one of these button is clicked. Okay, we can do the code inside the on item decrement, on item quantity increment. Let's do that right before we set the text, or we can do it anywhere, it doesn't matter. Now we want to update the cart total price. Cart total price dot set. Firstly, if we do not want to add to that, we simply want to replace that. So set text, so f text. We can use the get formatted price. So the price should be, it is a float, which is exactly what the unit price is. If you go here, the item unit price, we are going to convert this text into float. Item total price equals to item unit price dot get text. We want to convert this text to is there a function to float? No, the Visual Studio is messing up with me. That is not a problem. fc string a to f, which is for float item, for float value, and also we need to use asterisk. Now this is a float. We want to convert this float as a text. with the dollar symbol, and we have already written the code for that inside the get formatted price. I have pressed F. Yeah, that's in debug mode. We do not want any debug function now. Let's compile. Okay, let's test that out. And we did not write any code for the plus. When we press minus, what did we do? Yeah, we need to also multiply the item price. It is returning 0. It should return 2. We're gonna debug that. First let's write multiplied by quantity. That is compiled now. Okay, when the quantity is 0, of course it is going to show 0. Let's add the functionality when we are incrementing also. There is nothing we need to change. Unit price. Yep. The code is same whether we are decrementing or incrementing. That isn't working. We're gonna figure it out, not a problem. Let's close the Unreal editor. Let's press this local Windows debugger to debug. Let's remove any breakpoints we have. Let's put a breakpoint here and here. It is working till here, and there should be something wrong with the conversion. Let's see, that is not a problem. We'll also learn how to debug. I'm going to press plus, and Unreal Visual Studio is going to pop up. And now F10, quantity currently 0, that's right, and plus 1, all right. Quantity is clamped already, and quantity is set as number. Now item total price, item unit price, text is we cannot see. Okay, item total price is returning 0. Okay. But the item unit price is $2. Okay. So the problem was we have added the dollar sign to the price text. We also want to remove the dollar sign when we actually want the value. So the default string function, string conversion is going to include the dollar sign as well, which is not a number. So the default float value for return, if it failed, is 0. That is why we are getting 0. So let's also write a function to remove the dollar from the price text, from the f text. So as this code is repeating, we can write a function, and also let's create a new class for common functionality such as this conversions. We want our code to be simplified and also optimized. Let's head into Unreal, click on tools, new class. We want the none. Next, let's name it as SMS utility. Let's place it inside here. We do not want it inside another folder. Let's just click here, make sure that is public, click create class. Once that is compiled, we are going to get a pop-up inside Visual Studio. Reload, that's it. Let's click reload. Yeah, now here we are going to remove the comments and also this constructor and destructor. Let's remove all of this. Okay, and you might hear my dog shouting in the background because he's playing. Let's just don't mind him. Now we can actually remove the class as well, because we would like to create our own namespace. We can remove the core minimal, and here let's create a namespace. We'll call it SMS utility with curly brackets. Now inside here we want this get formatted price text, get formatted price function, and we do not want these things. We want this to be static. Remove the const, and that should work if I'm not wrong. Let's comment this for now. We might make a mistake, so let's remove the function from this class for now. And yeah, we are going to include SMS utility we need to include SMS utility.h. Now the function is identified. Let's do the same here. Okay, we do not need cpp class because it is just a namespace. We'll write functions inside here. Now let's create a new function as well, static. It will be float get price from formatted text. In the input will be f text formatted text. Okay, now in this function we want to remove the dollar sign. For adding, we have added using a function from string, and inside string we have used text macro and gave a parameter for the macro. Now here we would like to undo the same thing. Okay, so firstly let's check if formatted text dot contains let's do something. Instead of f text, let's use f string because it has more string functions. So if formatted text dot contains, we want to check whether it contains dollar symbol. We only want to remove the dollar if the text already has a dollar. Okay, now let's do formatted text dot, so instead of okay, let's do this. Formatted text dot remove at, we know we have added the dollar at the beginning of string, so we are going to give index of 0. Okay, and we want to remove one character, which is the dollar symbol, and we have allow string. Let's keep that to true. Now this format text got removed. This format text doesn't have the dollar symbol. We would like to return the float. There you see my dog is barking. I'll be right back. Yeah, so we would do the same thing which we have did here, which is fc string a to f. Instead of item unit price, we are going to use the string. Now we like to return this float value, and that's it. That should work. Okay, not all code control path returns a value. That is because if it doesn't contain any dollar, what would we like to return? We would like to return this thing. If it doesn't have a dollar symbol, we simply want to convert and send. That's it. Now come back here. Let's remove this line. We do not want that. We want to convert item, not item total price. We want to convert the item unit price. So let's use the same function SMS utility. Get price from formatted string. The string will be item unit price dot get text dot toString. That should be working. Let's test now. Control let's copy the same line and paste it here. Let's remove these both lines and replace it with this single line. There are some errors. Get formatted price is not a member of view market widget. Where is that? That is inside computer widget. So instead of using this, we'll remove the item. We are going to use SMS utility scope resolution, and we also need to include SMS utility.h. Now it should compile. Alright, let's check out now. And there you go. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And the price is clamped as well automatically because the amount is not increasing, so that the total value also doesn't increase because the amount is clamped. Let's clamp the amount from 1 to 10 because we cannot buy a 0 item. That doesn't make sense. Instead of clamping from 0 to 10, let's clamp from 1 to 10. Okay, and the other thing, before we click the item increment or decrement, the value is 0 0 0 0. There are 4 zeros. So at the beginning, let's call this line so that, let me show you. So here you see 4 zeros, and once I click one of these, it is going to change to $2. So by default, it should be $2 as the amount is 1. So at native construct, not instruct, let's copy this line and paste, and there should be one issue, which is the quantity. So we know that the default quantity is 1. We can simply do 1, or we can even remove that, because something times 1 is always something. Okay, that should fix that. There you go, and you see the amount is clamped to 0 again. The default value for item quantity, we should also change that. The item quantity, the default value, we can do that in editor as well. Blueprints, user widget, market item template. Let's select this, and the default value text, let's add that to 1. Compile and save. Okay, that makes sense now. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, that is working. And let's test here also. If you just want to be clarity, if you want just clarity. Okay, so whatever item it is, you simply want to add that data into the data table, and rest all will be done automatically. Now the next thing, the cart item, cart menu. Let's go to reference. cart. On the market item, on the upper, let's call this some bar. On that bar, there is this UI where it is showing the cart total price, cart items, number of items, and a button to open the cart. First, let's do that. And also, on pressing that button, this is going to open up. This is going to have a list of all the items and also these values. In this lecture, we are going to create a basic UI here and also create the functionality and the UI of this. Let's head into the UI. First, let's make the UI. Computer. Okay, we'll create it here. For that, right beside this, let's copy this size box. There you go. We are going to change this market menu close this name to market cart button. Let's add it as VTN underscore. Okay, we have this one. Now inside this, we also want a text box, a text element to show the cart price. Okay, for that we can do another overlay inside this size box. Let's add panel overlay and paste the size box inside this overlay. Let's also add a border. This border will be centered and horizontally to the left. We also want to size this box, so let's remove that. Let's add another size box inside this overlay. This should be centered and left aligned, and paste this border inside that. For the size box, let's width override. The width should be 50. Let's increase the size box for this total. We're going to fix that scaling, don't worry. Let's give that to 200. And the market cart button, instead of filling, let's do, okay, this is not changing anything. Okay, inside this overlay, let's add another size box, and inside that size box, let's add this button. Now this button should have height and width override. This should set to fill. The button should set that to horizontal and vertically fill. And for the size box, let's give 75 by 75, and this is right aligned. That looks good for me. And let's reduce the size of total width somewhere around 150. Now the border size box, we should set to let's go with 75, 90. Yeah, 90 looks fine. And the height override, let's go with 40, and the border will be filled across. Now we want this border to go behind this button, so for that we'll drag this below, not inside. Okay, now that looks fine. And for the border, let's make the edges to be round edges. For that, it is simple. If you remember, change the draw as to round box, and that looks good for me. Let's change the position, or we can do this manually, which is 25 should be fine. Not this one. We want the right edges to be sharp, but the left edges to be curved. 25 is too much. $15. That is looking similar to the image. Yep. Okay. inside the border, where is the border? Inside this border, let's add a overlay. This overlay will be filled. Remove the padding. Actually give padding of 5 because we don't want text to go outside this border. So inside this overlay we have a text element that should be around here. Text, give the text. Let's change the text color to black. Align the center horizontally and vertically. Let's reduce the font size to 15. Now the text will be, let's give $0. I think text is too little. Let's change the text to 25. Okay, let's also give 0.00. Okay, that is looking good. Let's do this later. For now this is looking good, and let's give justification to the right. Okay, and I think that's it for now. In the UI part, okay, let's change the image. Let's open the reference for the asset folder. We have a shopping cart image. Let's copy that to content browser inside asset and images. Change the compression settings to user interface 2D. Let's change, I am going to select it in the content browser. Click this here, here, here. Okay, there is one problem. We are going to figure it out, which is we want background for the button. That is a simple solution. We can create an image in the background inside this button, not inside the size box. I'm going to cut the image, which is Ctrl X. Let's add a border. Okay, inside this border let's paste our image, and the border we have a rounded corner, so let's do the same. Draw as rounded box. Instead of half height, let's use fixed radius, and the radius will be 10. Yeah, let's go with 15 on all sides. Okay, that is looking good. Let's change the text of this button, not this one. Background color, yes, let's change that color to, yeah, let's keep it white. Let's change the color of the border. First let's select this background color, and we want something darker or some variation of same color. Okay, let's go with that for now. And the button, let's give padding of 15 or 10. Okay, let's also give padding for text, or let's give only to the right side 5. Market, there is something wrong with the button, but we haven't changed. Did we name the name? Yeah, let's remove _1 for this, as we duplicated the same thing. It was throwing issue. So on click of this button, we want to show the cart menu. For now we do not have any cart menu. I think this is end of this lecture, because it's already been 40 minutes in this tutorial video. We are going to continue in the next lecture. In the next lecture, we are going to create functionality to open the cart UI and bind the cart price, and also on click of add to cart button, we are going to create a cart item. We are going to add entry to our cart inside the cart menu. That's it for the lecture, guys. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next lecture.